one hell of a night for some Midwest boys who were doing all right.
Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of New Music 30. I'm Brent Schlemmer. We're going to be here every Saturday night, hanging out, going to expose you to some brand new music from people you might not have ever heard of. So check out the local Indianapolis music scene and what we've got going on here. I'd like to welcome for the first episode, thank you very much, Mr. Matthew Marcelle.
Yeah.
And I'll just go, hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, right. So yeah, really, I haven't seen you around a bunch. You kind of showed up in my purview. When was it? You know, like did you come out to one of the Books and Brews open mics? Is that where I caught you the first time, or has this all just been like online and I just think I know you from somewhere else?
No, I first officially met you at the Books and Brews up at the Mothership. I went up there, and that's just a great spot to play, and I love that stage. And I got my shakers, you know, and I usually stand on a board. And you told me, here's the best spot for the bass.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, this guy knows what I'm trying to do.
Yep.
But yeah, I love that stage. That's where we first officially met. But I think I've seen you at a couple of shows. I think the first time I've seen you play was with Megan Christine. I think she was doing Books and Brews in the neighborhood, and I'm just a big fan of hers and a big fan of your guys, the whole band and stuff. But right. I saw you playing with her originally at the Books and Brews in Broad Ripple when that was still up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I think that's how we officially met, or we first officially met at the open mic.
Right. Cool. Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, well, it seems like most of the singer-songwriter cult, you know, dudes I catch up to through Books and Brews, being the talent buyer for the, you know, for the whole chain, you know, that's all we do. So, you know, it's funny where I feel like I know everybody on the Indianapolis music scene when really I don't know any of the dudes that are in like kind of full bands.
Yeah.
I just know the singer-songwriters because that's really all I deal with. But it's such a huge group that, you know, like people come and go, you know, I don't, and like I said, so I really dig what you do. It's just funny, like, and it's even grown from like the appreciation of seeing you live to like what you're doing in the video kind of thing that we've been kind of reduced to at this point. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. Like I see you got like a little studio kind of thing set up there.
Yeah, and so I guess just to kind of go back about getting out in the scene. So I've been a closet guitar, you know, closet writer, you know, for all my life, you know, and you get into different things. You get in as you grow up. I got into bike riding for a long time, then a bunch of outdoorsy stuff, and then it always came back to playing music and writing songs. I've always liked to do that. Even I try to be I got an English degree, and so I try to be a writer. It's like the only stuff, it always comes back to writing songs, and that's what I want to do. And so then my wife ended up getting pregnant, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in. I got 9 months to go all into music right now before my life is kind of completely changed with the baby.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of got me going out to the open mics a little bit more and playing some of my stuff out. Gary Wasson had an open mic at the Aristocrat. A great open mic, and then the Aristocrat said no, and so he's now moved that up to the Grand Junction tap Westfield, which you've played that stage.
Yeah,
I mean, gosh, that's one of the best stages in Central Indiana. My goodness,
right? Great outdoor venue, all kinds of cool stuff happening there. I really think they should step their game up a little bit there, you know, and try and get, you know, a little more. Hey, we're having a special roped off night with whoever.
Yeah. But I love that place, and so the open mics really kind of got me going, and then yeah, I was like you were saying, I was kind of getting my way into the scene, meeting other people, getting bookings and stuff, and then COVID happened and completely changed things. And so for the first couple months of COVID, we got the baby upstairs And so when he's sleeping, the guitar is too loud, but when he's not sleeping, he's too loud. And so recording was a challenge. And so on YouTube, I came across this PVC studio idea. You know, and I had these moving blankets in my basement studio, but I just, you know, yeah, like that stuff. There you go.
These are mic stands. You know, it's like I have a friend that works for RLX, and these are the like $280 vertical panels, but they were damaged on a pallet. So I got like $2,000 worth of RLX because that's how much fit in my car.
Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah, it was just a luck. It was a lucked out, you know. And another one of those Books and Brews connections. She's a regular at Books and Brews. Shout out to Jackie for catching me this RLX. And I only took some of it. You know, like I went to her house and picked up like 6 or 8 pieces, and she brought several to the bar, because we have the back of that stage has that window there, and it's always been a little bit of a problem with mics and stuff with the glass. And so we put up 2 of these in front of that window when people play, and it completely changed the room. 2 pieces of foam changed that room markedly. Yeah. Of course, we haven't had a show since. We've had 1 show since we got it.
Oh, dang.
So, oh well. Dang.
Yeah, you got that. What you said, it's called Arlex?
Yeah.
I got the bedding, the egg crate bedding from so it's not really soundproof, but it does a decent job. And I will say, because I'm always trying to look at the positivity of things. And so the positive out of COVID is that it's pushed me to up my recording game. Because, you know, as a songwriter, you just kind of write the songs and, oh, that's a great song. All right, cool. And I can't wait to play it out live. And so now it's kind of forced me to, all right, if I want to share this virtually, I got to get a good, clean recording of it. Mm-hmm. Can't have the bass there, you know. And so in creating this booth and then sitting down here and playing, it's really helped me work with GarageBand and work with video and iMovie and all that. And so
right, it's funny, we're finding at Books and Brews, I'm the sales director at Books and Brews as well. I don't just do their music, I'm actually their sales guru. And what we found is that this forced our hand into a direction that we were headed, but was on this back burner by like 2-year model. You know, we had already talked about, let's live stream open mic. Let's get, you know, let's live stream these live shows and things like that. But that was like on deck for 2021. And now here we are like, no, we need to do this right now. This is the only way we're going to get this to even move forward. And so, you know, in some ways it took a bunch of stuff off of our plate, but then it threw on a bunch of stuff on the plate that we knew was coming, but hadn't really happened yet. So I'm kind of happy. It's changed my job description a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, what's really cool is I think you guys had a virtual open mic, and you said you had a guy from California and another guy from Colorado or something like that.
Yeah. Arizona, Colorado.
Yeah. And that opened my mind. Like, I haven't done it yet. I'm all talk, but I was like, gosh, I should look for open mics around the country too, virtual open mics, and send some stuff in.
Totally.
Haven't done it yet, but that's, you know.
I know I'm not the only one doing it. You know, like I've seen a few others pop up, and mostly because because of my day job at the brewery, I'm on a bunch of like beer, you know, craft beer professionals groups, and I've seen they're doing it in a bunch of different places like that, where it's like, oh yeah, there's, you know, and they're from all over. You know, these are, in fact, the craft beer professionals group is international, so we get dudes that pop on from like Germany and whatnot, and they're doing the same thing there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, you got to find in time of trouble, you got to find what's good, I guess.
Right. Well, let's jump into a tune here. You sent me kind of a list of the order you thought was going to be good. Moose is first, and I know that's one of your band project things. You want to talk about that a little bit first, and I jump right to the video?
Right. I wrote that for a couple friends I got living out in Ogden, Utah.
Side note, my son's name is Ogden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, way.
Just in that weird, you never hear that name very often. And so whenever somebody says it, I always have to mention that. I named my kid that.
Well, you'll catch it. I say move west to Ogden in the song, so you'll catch it. But yeah, and so so I wrote that for them. Their wedding, they got married last year, and so I kind of wrote that song for them. And my brother and my uncle, who I play with, were the Rodney Boys. They lay those harmonies on it, and it just oh my gosh, man, knocked my socks off. I was happy with that recording.
Right.
But yeah, it's just a song just about a couple friends out in Ogden. So
Cool. Well, let's play it. It's called Moose, and this is the Rodney Boys, right?
yeah.
Full on. All right.
Take my picture and take your big dreams and take me with you where you're going. Blame your innocence or blame my ignorance. Just take me with you when you're gone. The world's too hard to go in alone, and it's too cold to bear. But if you just hold on for a little longer, I can get us there. Here, take my microphone and take your mandolin and take my keys to the car. Take my heart and leave the heart and just take what we can fit in the car. We got a full tank of gas in a large scale atlas. We can take it real far. If you could just hold on, I gotta go back in. I gotta get the guitar. And then we'll head west to Ogden and put our boots to the ground. We'll climb on mountains and ride on rivers and sleep right there on the ground. Look at the moonlight, look at the stars shine, look all around at where we are. Look who's around us, ain't no one around us, just you and me and all the stars. And when the sun comes up in the middle of the morning, we can warm up the car. And we'll head back east to Indianapolis. Hey, will you marry me? Take my picture and take your big dreams and take me with you when you're gone.
Let's go ahead and do another one. So the next one you got there is a Girl I'll Never See. You want to give me a little about that?
Yeah, this is a song my brother wrote. We wrote this a long time ago, and with this one, we did it up in Morris Reservoir, my cousin's house, and we were just trying to get some stuff recorded just to put some video on YouTube. That's kind of where all our stuff is. And I liked the camera angle because, especially during quarantine and COVID, when people really can't be at concerts, I made the angle so it's kind of feels like you got the third row back to the right of the stage, so you're almost like you're in the band. I know it's not perfectly centered and the sound quality is not the best, but I think it kind of puts that feeling of what a live concert feels like. And so,
Sure. All right, let me go flip over to that one here.
We spent the night like lovers, and the next morning we decided to meet. She introduced herself with a long string of words that said, "This is me. Hope you don't mind. I sing for a living every night. This introduction's really my goodbye." Love in my pockets and jump in my feet. I'll be heading out to India on my mind, 'cause that's where my heart leads. She's on my mind. I'll probably think about her the whole darn flight. It's just another girl I'll never see. Covered by red leaves. There's just another girl on the bus. I'll never see.
You seem to like fall into just that right category, that right spot where it's familiar, but it's new.
Well, yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and to add to that, I will say, people in the songwriting scene and these new bands, you hear them, and some of them will be like that, and then some of them will knock your socks off, and you're like, God dang, what am I even doing playing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't against this guy, and so I think one interesting thing that happened, I think, when you write songs in your own bedroom and you're thinking like, this song is the best song ever written, you know. And so I remember going to open mics thinking like, oh, I got the best stuff in the world, and then, you know, you hear somebody else's song, and you're just like, oh, wow, these people really got some style. And so,
right. I always say there's there's three kinds. There's the singers that can accompany themselves and play. There's the songwriters that can play, but like their voice isn't necessarily in that spot. And then there's the like the triple threat guys that it's like they can really sing and they can really play. And when you get those dudes like on the stage, that's when I think that most people instinctively recognize that as special.
Yeah, for sure. And it's always fun. That's what's great about the indie songwriting community and the open mic scene is you get that, you get that everywhere you go. And then at the same, in that same breath, you also get guys that are so confident. They're like, yeah, I just picked the guitar up last year. I'm just trying some things out. And I mean, like, gosh, man, to the courage for these guys to get up. It took me years before I'm going to try to get up in front of some people. And so I do like the variety that the indie scene really offers.
Let's move on. Let's see. Dancing in the Dirt.
Yeah, this was the so John Hartford songwriting contest happens every year. I'm bummed they I think they had it virtual this year. Maybe a couple people. Sam Bush was headlining.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they have a songwriting contest, and so the challenge of the songwriting contest, it's got to have John Hartford's name and one of his songs, or a title of one of his songs in there. In 2019, I'm not to take away anything from the festival, but it takes place down in Bean Blossom, Indiana, which is, man, if you know anything about bluegrass and Bean Blossom and everything, and it's like really cool. It's a proud thing that we should have in Indiana. And in 2019, the top 10 songwriters, not one of them was from Indiana, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I submitted this song to the contest, and I specifically made it about being in Indiana and growing up in Indiana. And it got 6th place. I thought for sure I was going to win, but I was happy to see that I think 3 or 4 more. I think the top 10. I think 3 or 4 of us were from Indiana. Yeah, John Gilmore made the top 10, and Hammer and the Hatchet made the top 10.
I was gonna say, yeah, Hammer and the Hatchet. They're some of my favorite people on the scene. I love those guys. All right, yeah, Dancing in the Dirt. That was your entry for the.
Oh yeah, this is all pictures too. It's not me playing, but my Uncle Jim is singing with me on it.
Right on.
Well, I was sitting in the sunlight in the south of Indiana, just waiting on that green grass to grow. I had cold beer waiting in the shores of the Ohio. I was fishing for a day to call my own. Well, there's more than cornfields in Indiana. There's sure a lot more to see. There's backwoods and sand dunes and rivers for miles. And there's a Nashville, but it ain't in Tennessee. Now we got rolling hills and flatland for days, and up north we got our share of lakes. In the summer that water is sure to shimmer, but in the winter it gets cold enough to skate. Well, there's more to life here in Indiana. There's sure a lot more to see. These rivers run us wild from north to south. Near Nashville, we're far from Tennessee. Now we play our music loud at night, and we sing that country folk. And when the band's up on the stand and playing Old Time Riverman, when my body leaves its soul, well, I kick off my shoes and I dance in the dirt in the moonlight of my home. And if there's more to life than living well, I don't think I need to know. Now I'm barefoot in the moonlight in the heart of Indiana, and the band's playing Billy Monroe. And I'm stomping right along, and I feel like I belong to a world I hope to God is just like heaven. Well, there's more to life here in Indiana. There's sure a lot more to see. We just play our music loud for the John Hartford crowd. near Nashville but far from Tennessee.
The last one I've got on the list is Bicycle.
Yeah, this was songwriter Chris Wolf. I don't know. I'm sure you've met Chris Wolf, but he's got a indie song name game where I kind of on a monthly basis or whenever they do it, they post a songwriting challenge. And I think I'm pretty sure this was a songwriting challenge that's called Home. They say write a song with the word home in it or about home. And I wrote it about my bicycle, riding my bicycle home. So.
All right, let's go find that.
Well, I have a bicycle painted black and red to cover up the chrome. And I worked on my bicycle until my fingers bled again and again. And rode it home. Rode it home, rode it home. Yeah, I have a couple friends who call me after work to see if I am home. And they ride real nice bicycles, and sometimes we'll ride into the city till the sky it falls. And so we use our lights to ride through the streets, to weave through the night, and we never wonder what it feels like to fly. I have a bicycle painted black and red to cover up the chrome. And when I ride my bicycle, it takes me home.
All right, well, let's. Do you have any? How about tell me your Facebook page, your YouTube account, like all that kind of stuff that we can send people to.
Yeah, so Matthew Marcelle's on YouTube. That's where we got all our songs right now. I'm on Facebook and Instagram too. The Rodney Boys, we're getting established in the social media game right now. But our goal is to have well, I guess for right now, there's open mic. You see, the Square Cat Vinyl Songwriter open mic. So they got that on virtual, and so that'll be up on Monday. I sent that Moose video in because it's the first one with the Rodney. So I'm excited for that. And I guess our goal as the Rodney Boys is to have an album officially out and on iTunes and Spotify by August. We got a lot of the bass or the track. Recording sucks. Let's be honest. You're sitting there with the metronome and going, I messed it up. So we got a lot of those guitar parts already down. So now we just got to go add in some harmonies and some vocals and everything. And so we're hoping to have everything put up on Spotify and iTunes in August. That's our goal.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that, man, it's just, I got a songwriting contest, the Eagle Creek Songwriting Contest. Look out for that one. That was, they're going to announce that July 4th. It was If Not Now, Then When. So I wrote a song about quitting your job and moving down to Louisiana to play music. So
right on. Well, this has been great. I thanks for doing this. Thanks for coming on the first episode, making helping me figure out like what the hell I'm going to actually do with this. And
yeah, I hope editing's not too much of a headache for you as it is to me.
Right on. Well, Matthew, Marcelle, thanks for being on the show. We will definitely put the word out and put all the links and stuff in the in as I do the edit, and we'll try to spread the word for you.
So much, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. It's been super cool hanging out with you. Super cool to hang out with Matthew, Marcelle, even if it was virtually. So stop back again next Saturday night. We're going to have another episode of NewMusic30, the music show that showcases local talent right here in Indianapolis. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
We got coffee and Copenhagen sitting in the refrigerator. Broken bottles on the floor and a table strewn with rolling papers. We got kisses on the window and blood on the